Welcome to Eventful Endeavors, secrets to crafting the perfect celebration. If you're planning an event and looking for useful tips from industry experts, you're in the right place. So get ready to take some notes and we'll dive right in. This is Eventful Endeavors. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another exciting episode of Eventful Endeavors. I am Mike Sherman with Felix and Fingers Dueling Pianos. Happy to be hanging out with all of you one more time. Today, it is my joy and honor to be interviewing Anna Massouras-Niklarz, the venue manager at Shores of Turtle Creek, which is an absolutely beautiful venue that we've worked at a number of times in Spring Grove, Illinois. Anna was born and raised in Europe. She actually had 12 years of real estate before she became a venue owner. She was trained as a graphic designer originally, and she's interested in psychology, traveling, outdoor activities. She likes fishing, snowmobiling, boating. And like I said, she runs one of the best venues that I can think of. Specifically, I can never forget how beautiful that ceremony spot is that you have out there. I mean, it's one of the best that I've ever been at. So I love it. So how did I do? Is that a pretty good?
Oh my goodness, marvelous! I don't even want to follow up, because it's so amazing. But yeah, our ceremony space is definitely breathtaking.
Oh my gosh, yes,
Absolutely. And yes, thank you for the beautiful introduction.
Oh yes, well thank you, and it's such a joy to be chatting with you. I haven't seen Anna in a couple of years, but I've been definitely over at the venue a few times. It's absolutely, like I said, one of my favorite spots. I've one wedding that I did there, I remember there was a Captain Jack Sparrow impersonator at it, and I remember,
Yes,
it was
that
just.
was, oh my goodness, I think that was 2016, if I
Oh my
remember
gosh,
correctly.
could
So
it have
it's
really?
been a while.
I was gonna say that's one that I remember. I've been there a couple other times too, but yeah, I remember that Captain Jack
Yeah,
Sparrow. That was one of
that
my
was a
favorites.
fun wedding. It was the bride worked for Disney, so the whole theme of the wedding was Disney.
That's amazing.
Yeah, she had fun with, you guys being here, and yes, a couple of different actors came out and had fun with us as well that day. That was
Oh,
that was definitely a fun one.
that's amazing. No, I love that. Well,
Hmm.
so tell me a little bit now. Now, obviously, I just spoke a little bit of your background in real estate and some other things. What kind of motivated you to get into the wedding industry?
Uh, it was just something that life threw at me.
Yeah,
It's very difficult to explain. I think for some of us, just life unfolds and there's a path in front of you that you take, and that's kind of what happened.
yeah. No, that's amazing.
It wasn't a planned out way. It wasn't something that I really thought about doing. It just, again, just kind of unfolded, and it was an opportunity that I thought, wow, how interesting.
Yeah,
And we've been having fun here since. It's myself along with good friends and family that work the event, so we always have fun. It's a great balance, and then during the week, I'm just kind of lonely in the office, except for couples coming in to see me once in a while. But great balance.
yeah. That's amazing. Well, I wanted to comment too. I mean, I think you do such a great job with social media. Often, I mean, I see people looking for venues, and I feel like I always see you up there, promoting Shores of Turtle Creek. I
Mhm.
mean, so is that just like a part of your daily routine? Like, what kind of helps you like stay on top of all the social media and the responses to brides looking for venues?
Right. So I'm pretty much the only person that does operations here. I don't feel comfortable with having support as far as admin is concerned. So, yeah, I typically
Sure.
do the marketing and everything else on my own. Sometimes I slack because when we start getting very busy in a season, and you know how that goes,
Yeah.
other things kind of fall behind. But, off peak, when we have more time, I definitely try to focus on it a lot more and make sure that everybody can see what's here. I think relationships with professionals, just like as yourself, kind of helps.
Hmm.
We typically see the photographers returning that have been here. So it makes my job easier because they want to share their work. They're so happy to share it, and they're like, "Here, go for it." So having all that beautiful photography definitely helps.
Oh yeah, for sure. I know, and I've definitely tagged you all in posts over the years for sure when people are looking
Hmm.
for a great venue, and so yeah, it's amazing. Do you do mostly Facebook stuff, or do you do other things like Instagram or TikTok or anything like that?
Majority of our marketing is definitely focused on Facebook, and the reason why there is a whole bunch of great groups. Over time you join about 20 of them.
Yeah.
So that kind of helps. That's Facebook is awesome for that, for, information. It's not always the best information or the most accurate when it comes from different sources. But again, for us wedding professional, I think it's a great place to be. Instagram, TikTok. I recently started playing with TikTok, and it's kind of fun.
Yeah. Great. No, that's amazing. No, and I love it too. I mean, just especially with, like you were saying, like the relationships with vendors. I mean, there's so many great resources out there. Even just now looking for more people to interview for our podcast, I just put a post in some of my vendor groups yesterday, and I had 10 or 12 responses. Yeah. So it's like, yeah, it's great, especially when you see people and they're like, oh, yeah, I had somebody yesterday that was like, oh, I worked with you at a wedding a year ago. And it's like, oh my gosh, you kind of remember people and get to stay friends that way. So it's nice.
Yeah, absolutely. You bond and you're a team, not a disconnected service that just, services an event.
Exactly.
It's always a lot more fun.
Yeah, no, we're all working together when we come together to put together awesome events and weddings and all that fun stuff. So great. Well, talk to me a little bit about just the wedding industry. I mean, what's going on in the industry this year? Any trends that are that you're seeing a lot? Anything that's sort of dying out that we're not seeing as much anymore?
Ooh, I feel like this year and last year, actually, we've seen a lot of changes.
Yeah.
And I think currently the trends are a little unpredictable.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to see where everything is going to take us the next year. I feel like the barn venues have been trending. We hear a lot less about, part of my job is doing sales visits.
Yeah.
So I meet a lot of couples that are searching for spaces. So I hear that there's a lot less of them saying, well, we visited the barns or that's on our list. I think everyone is either going into facilities that are more of package deals, because I feel like a lot of groups nowadays realize, by the time we do everything ourselves and rent all of these things and chairs and tents, or, bring in the catering, the budget happens to be, typically doubling or tripling over, what they had in mind. So I think currently the trend is returning towards more of the package deals for venues. I think a lot of people see the value in it. So,
oh yeah, just as far as the planning goes, just keeps it simpler, and it's like you're going to get things that work really well together, anyways. So
yeah, the other fun trends, I think we're seeing a repeated, or kind of everyone wants to do something more fun, something that nobody else has done.
Yeah,
and we've seen that for the past probably 3 to 4 years, kind of, growing bigger and bigger. So this year we have alpacas coming to the property, which is amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, we are sitting here on over 30 acres, so possibilities for our groups are kind of endless as far as, wowing the guests with different activities. Of course, we do tend to have 1 to 2 fireworks shows here per year for weddings. Sure. That we like every year, it's kind of a big thing. But yeah, seeing animals, dogs coming for ceremonies, or again, this year having alpacas. We've had petting zoos for cocktail hours. So it's kind of fun. I think, bonding more with the nature and having that type of fun is kind of, the way to go nowadays. More relaxing. I like that better than jumpy houses. Like going back like 7 years, that was, not my thing.
Get a big, ugly jumping house right outside your beautiful venue.
Yeah. Let's go in there and, shake up a little bit, and sweat a little bit inside of those and get dizzy.
Yeah. Well, no, and I think you really hit it on the nail. It's like everyone wants their wedding to be different, especially in the age of social media and TikTok and Pinterest. It's like you see hundreds of different things and you think, what can I do that's different than what everyone else has done? And
right.
I mean, I've had people recently where they're just like, well, this is a tradition that we do. This is a tradition, and we don't want to do any of those. Like, we don't want the traditions that my mom did at her wedding or that my cousins did at her wedding, because we're sick of them, and we just want something different. So, right. Sometimes it might, make mom a little upset, but, people, they want that unique experience. And really, at the end of the day, it's like people just remember how much fun they had. They remember the experience and the little traditions here and there. It's like they're not going to know anything about that.
They're not going. Nobody's going to remember we didn't cut a cake.
Yeah,
but they do remember great music, and I feel like you guys are awesome. Your group is amazing because And that's something that has been actually coming up in a lot of visits that I had. Do you allow live music?
Mm-hmm.
Um, a lot more people nowadays are asking about
Yeah.
having live music at their events. If it's just for ceremony or the whole event. So yeah, I'm definitely hoping to see you more because it's more fun.
Yeah,
It's very
absolutely.
upbeat, and it creates that environment where everybody feels like they're part of the dance floor. You
Yeah.
know,
Well, yeah. What I always say is, I mean, if we DJ a song, like if a DJ plays like "Baby Got Back," like I like big butts, and like it's like whatever, people kind of roll their eyes, they might dance. But like if we
right?
do it, then suddenly there's like this element of live performance, this level of talent that goes into it, and suddenly if you're six or if you're 106, like you're drawn to the dance floor and come out. It's just such a whole different experience, and
Yeah, absolutely. I agree.
yeah, and that's why I mean, it's so great too about having that unique experience. I mean, like a company like ours, we do 200 weddings a year, but most people have never seen dueling pianos at a wedding before. So it's like we know how to do it super well, but it's still just like an original thing to 99% of the people that'll be there, and that's what it comes down to, just those memories and something different.
Yeah, having something different. Yeah, I agree. Well, I was lucky to see you in action a few times, so that's all.
I know.
We
And
love it. We absolutely love having you guys. So.
yes, and hopefully soon again. So now, where are you right now? Is that like a fake backdrop behind you, or is that the space
No,
itself?
no, no. I'm sitting in a space.
Yeah,
I'm
I thought
hiding.
so.
We have so many beautiful skylights and windows,
Uh
so
huh.
I'm trying to kind of hide from that because I figured you might want to see my face.
Yeah, it's
But
perfect.
yeah, no, I'm literally in the reception area.
It's great.
With the fireplace in the background, of course, not only we're
Yeah,
here on a Monday, but also off season, so it's not perfect. We're
yeah.
not set up for anything, so I'm not showing off the rest of it.
Right. No, it's great. That's great. I mean, really, it almost kind of looks like a fake backdrop behind you, of like just like a beautiful, pretty room. But no, I was like, I think that's actually her space. So,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
well,
I think the last time you were here, you were sitting
yeah.
on this side, I
Well, I
think,
think I've
somewhere.
been. I feel like I've been on the other side maybe once, but I could also be like backwards, like when and how I'm remembering it too. But
Yeah, yeah.
oh, well, what are some tips for brides and grooms that are kind of getting started? Like whether or not they're like just starting the wedding search for like a venue or anything. Like what advice could you give to somebody that's planning a wedding?
Tips, I mean, we've been open for 17 years. I've been doing this for quite a while, so I think I'm always full of suggestions, especially to our groups.
Yeah.
Um, and I feel like the biggest tip for anyone planning a wedding, especially if they don't have any experience, right?
Hmm.
Because if someone was standing up to a wedding 5 times in the past 5 years, they have significant amount of experience of what to do or what not to do, right?
Yeah.
If maybe a sibling just got married and the whole family was planning and was involved, now you have definitely some significant experience. But for anyone who really hasn't done any of those things, I feel like my biggest suggestion and a tip would be make sure to hire the right professionals. Someone who is actually willing to help you and assist, and going back to Facebook, you're in those group chats, and sometimes I see the brides asking such simple questions, and it just feels like if they would hire the right professionals, they wouldn't have to struggle and ask those questions
Right.
because somebody would give them their experience and would be willing to share that, right?
Hmm.
It's not necessarily that you have to have a day of coordinator or wedding planner. A lot of wedding professionals provide that support. you know I always invite, even though I always say it's not mandatory, come in, and if you need to, I suggest 3 consultation meetings. Come
Yeah.
in, let's talk, let's check in, let's see where you are, let me help you with that timeline,
Hmm.
right? Because that's the most important thing about your day, is making sure that the timeline is on the spot,
Yeah.
right? Because a lot of things can go wrong if you start too early or too late,
Yeah.
or
You're trying.
don't give yourself enough time, or give too
Right.
much time, right?
Right.
Neither one of those things are great. So yeah, definitely. The culture of wedding industry now is so confusing because it's changing.
Yeah.
You have not only venues but professionals that give you very minimal support. Just say, hey, here's the space, here's the basic, you're on your own with everything, right? Everything else, and of course you have still those very traditional spaces where you walk in and you just pick your cake, you pick your meal, you pick everything else. Here we're somewhere in between, where we want to provide that support and the help, but without pressuring everybody to have that cake.
Mhm.
Right? If you want donuts, that's absolutely fine. I'm not going to be giving you a cake if you don't want it.
Yeah.
Um, and again, we always suggest hiring certain vendors, certain professionals that work with us as a team, right? There is not a whole bunch of services that come in disconnected where they don't know what they're doing. We're all having fun and working as a team, so our groups really benefit from that at the end. Um, they don't have to reach out to their vendors, giving them a list and, after a list of, information or answering questions. The
Right.
professionals say, this is how it goes over there. So it kind of goes in reverse, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, hiring the best wedding professionals is, I feel like successful wedding and successful planning, that's your base.
Yeah, well, it's going to just make your life easier and over the course of however long the wedding planning's going for. So,
Absolutely.
mhm. And I always appreciate it when people, when they trust us. A lot of people, it's like, I know what we're doing. I will give you any advice you want. Of course, anything you want, we're going to make work for you. But, so many times when we have our kind of pre-planning calls with our brides and grooms and we're asking them questions and they're like, well, what would you do? And it's like, that's such a smart question because I guarantee you, I know the best way to do it. And so, if you ask me, I'm going to tell you, but I'm not going
Yeah,
to force it on you necessarily. So,
absolutely.
hmm that's great. What, I mean,
Absolutely. Yeah,
yeah,
we've done so many events. Again, they don't always have to be the same, but certain things work,
yeah.
right? And certain things don't.
Yeah, of course. Well, talk to me more about
Absolutely.
Shores of Turtle Creek. Obviously, I talked a little bit about the ceremony space. I mean, what is so amazing about Shores of Turtle Creek? What makes you different, unique? I mean, you've touched on a little bit of it already, but yeah, just talk it up for a minute. Like, what is it? What's so great about it?
I can tell you what I enjoy about this location.
Yeah,
We're extremely private. We are literally sitting on a 30-acre property. There's nothing going on around. Most of our neighbors here are not residential. Most of them are industrial. So first of all, the number one thing, well, we're staying open till 1 a.m. Well, a lot
that's
of
big.
local venues around here, they have to close at 11 because there's different ordinances.
Yeah, that's great.
So we have more fun here. That's number one. And again, just being kind of landing in the middle of not nowhere because everything here is around us. Just the property itself is so large that you feel like you're very private. There's less stress.
Yeah,
Our rentals are full day, so there is so much time to spend here and set up and break down and, for everything else in between. But you're literally arriving here and you feel relaxed because you're breathing in that fresh air. You hear the birds, you hear the frogs in the background, and,
yeah,
and it's just so amazing. We don't have wedding crashers. Nobody would think about just walking in through the door
right.
because again, it's just so completely private. So we all enjoy it as employees and running it, and I feel like that's the biggest plus to our groups. I love where we are because again, we're kind of in like a very private location, but we're 5 minutes from Channel Lakes, with amazing, house rentals for the weekends. We're 15 minutes from Lake Geneva. The same thing.
Yeah,
You can stay the weekend in Lake Geneva and just come here for the wedding and return. So I feel like the location in itself is amazing because you're not paying the Lake Geneva cost for your
yeah.
wedding here. I mean, we're probably 1/3 of anything in Lake Geneva, if not less,
hmm
right? But you're still in the same area, so
Yeah,
I just feel very relaxed here myself. Going for a walk or anything else is amazing. That's how I spend lunches.
yeah.
And I think all the guests that walk in through the door kind of feel the same way.
Oh yeah, definitely find that easy to believe because it really does create that when you get there. Yeah,
Yeah.
I remember my first time being there, being like, "What is this place?" Like, it's like I feel like we're not where we are right now, just like in Illinois. Like
Yeah,
so.
absolutely. Yeah,
Hmm
you're like, wow, I didn't know it existed.
Yeah,
Yeah. When they call us the hidden gem, they mean it
yeah,
because you don't expect, as you arrive here, you don't expect it.
yeah. And you mentioned your staff and how great they are and everything. You have a note here on my list. You said something about your staff is even known to hop out on the dance floor a little bit during the weddings. Is that
Absolutely. We are honestly, we are a group of friends and family. My mom still comes and works, not events, but she comes and she's that true Polish personality that likes to clean and organize everything. So, we have her, organizing the space quite frequently. But yeah, everybody who runs weddings with us, who comes in to serve our guests, are friends or family.
Yeah.
So we just come together as a group. When we finish washing all the dishes, we come out and join people on the dance floor and kind of close the event with the guests. And most of them really love it and appreciate it.
That's awesome. I love that. Well, you had shared something with me. It was a post, I think, on your Facebook page. You have some deal going on right now with a couple of the Fridays and Saturdays throughout the rest of this year. I think it was like for some of these open Fridays, you can get a Saturday for normal Friday pricing, and you can get a Friday for normal Sunday pricing. Am I saying that right?
You are saying that right. Yes. So we do have, I believe, about 4 Saturdays left for this year. Probably about the same amount of Fridays.
Right.
So at this point, we're offering them at a promo pricing.
Yeah.
So yes, on each one of those dates, currently you're looking at probably close to a $2,000 discount.
Awesome. So yeah, I know they literally posted their dates on their Facebook page, maybe Instagram too. So you can check that out, or obviously reach out to Anna over at Shores, and I'm sure she'll give you all those details as well.
Absolutely.
All right, awesome. Well, thank you, Anna, so much for agreeing to meet me today and share with us a little bit about your amazing venue. And it's nice to get to actually physically see it while I'm talking to you. That's a rare thing when I do my podcast, so it's good to actually see the space itself.
I wasn't going to do it from home.
No, it's good. Now I'm in my little recording. I have a little recording studio here, so it's just.
No, you're good. At my home, I'm surrounded by cornfields, so I want to be able to sit there and not stress over the internet connection.
Right. I know that could be a stressful part of any sort of video conference or whatnot. But
absolutely,
all right, awesome. Well, great. Well, anything else you wanted to say or add or anything? I mean, I think we covered.
No, it was
a lot
just
of it.
amazing chatting with you. It was amazing seeing you, and hopefully I'll see you in person soon.
Absolutely, I hope so.
Summer's coming up, and so is the season. So.
All right, perfect. Well, once again, everyone, this is Mike Sherman with Felix and Fingers Dueling Pianos here on Eventful Endeavors, talking about the shores of Turtle Creek. So definitely check it out if you're looking for a wedding or event. It's an awesome space. And everyone have a great night, and we'll talk to you later. Bye. Thanks for listening to another episode of Eventful Endeavors, Secrets to Crafting the Perfect Celebration. We hope to have left you with some actionable ideas for your own event. If you like the show, please subscribe and definitely leave us a review. We read every comment. So until next time, happy planning and see you soon on Eventful Endeavors.